Hello, good morning, all. Welcome to Durrett's Take. Let's get started. There's a lot I want to go over. So first, let's start with the breaking news this morning that Phillip Rivers is finally retiring. This doesn't come as a surprise since people who know me and have watched this podcast know that I thought he should have retired last year. But I'm glad he didn't, though. Here's why. Because in that last season of the Chargers, I think he was like 4-12, so many turnovers, just a horrible year. But now at least he leads the Colts to a playoffs, and then he almost upsets the Red Hot Bills. So it's kind of a better ending there. So I'm glad that he ended off on a better note. So now the question that a lot of people are going to say is he a Hall of Fame quarterback? Because he's going to receive votes. Whether he actually gets there or not is a different question. Um, Not winning a Super Bowl does hurt him. But Marino didn't win one, and we acknowledge his talent and greatness. He's in. So now and also we do know he played for San Diego most of his career, which is a hard franchise to put on top, especially with Tom Brady in the AFC. But he did have some years where he could have gotten at least one, or not even been to the Super Bowl at least once. He could have done at least that once. Um, then you have to look at who the other top QBs taken in the draft when he came out. Well, Eli Manning and Big Ben both have two Super Bowl wins. Now, you could say both of those quarterbacks relied on their defense, and that's totally true. But still, they did win two Super Bowls, especially with Eli Manning being Brady twice, which is very hard to do. And that's why he's a Hall of Famer, in my opinion. Also, if you don't win a Super Bowl, then there has to be something that's like sets you apart from the competition. It's like Marine obviously has arm talent by winning Super Bowl, and then like Michael Vick maybe, and his running and athletic ability kind of sets him apart. But besides having 9 kids, Rivers doesn't have that. Just typical prototype quarterback. So the jury, which is myself, believes that sadly he is not a franchise. He's not a Hall of Famer QB in my opinion. I'm sorry to say, especially since Rav retired, but he is not Hall of Fame in my opinion. Now that doesn't discredit the good career he had, and I wish nothing for him and his large family the best. And I'm glad and like I said, I'm glad he's going out on top a better way than he did last year. That's good. Okay, so now for the main thing I want to get to today, let's talk some college basketball, shall we? Because we haven't really been doing that yet. It's basically 2 months away until Selection Sunday. So as we know, 2 months away, it's like, okay, now we got to start looking at some bracketology, if you will. And I could easily just say, okay, these are I think are the 1 seeds or 2 seeds or 3 seeds. But honestly, it's like difference between 2 seed, 3 seed, doesn't matter. 4 seed, 5 seed, doesn't matter. And obviously we don't care about smaller schools who get into the 16, 15, 14 seeds. So what I'm only going to do is reveal, okay, now who are the bubble teams, and then who's on the right side of the bubble, who's on the wrong side of the bubble as of right now. This is not a prediction base. This is based off right now. So just keep that in mind. And also, a lot of people make this determination based off, okay, they have this many quad 1 wins, or this many quad 2 wins, or quad 3 losses. I'm not going to do it at all. I'm just going to go with, okay, dude, have you beaten a tournament, if not bubble-ish type of team? And if you have, then I count that as a good win. And then if you've lost to a team who's not on the bubble or definitely in the tournament, then I count that as a bad loss, even though it's technically not a bad loss, depending on who it is. Because there's a bad loss and then there's like just pathetic loss. There's a difference between the two. But anyways, and also, so to classify as being on the bubble as well, you gotta be in the 10, 12 seed range. Every once in a while, 9 seed, like I'm going to have can sneak in there be a bubble team. But typically, it's if you're a 10 seed, you're on the bubble, but most likely saving an 11, 12, obviously, is where I can get really nervous. Although some people are 10 seeds and they were close to be on the last 4, and so you just never know. So let's, and this is all, I didn't really look at analytics again. I'm just looking at, okay, who did you win? Who did you beat? Who did you lose to? When was it? Type of thing. So let's get started. So there's about I counted 34 teams that should be automatically in, and then you count the auto bids from other small schools. So there's basically like 11 spots up for grabs. So this is kind of interesting. So I'm just going to go through the bubble teams throughout each of the conference if they have a bubble team. So let's start off with the American Conference. You got Wichita State. Right now they're 8-3, 4-1 conference play. Doesn't sound bad. When you look at the good wins, though, again, remember this is just against either tournament teams or bubble-ish teams. They have none. And then for bad losses, they have none. So obviously that's good not to have any bad losses, but I mean you have at least something on the good wins category. Then you got in Atlantic 10, you actually got two teams here. You got Richmond, who's 9-3, 3-1 in conference. Again, good wins, none. Bad losses, none. Yeah. Then you got VCU, who's 10-3, 3-1. Good wins, Utah State. They're a bubblish team, and that was on neutral court, I believe. But also that was the first game of the season, so obviously things have changed now. If they're to play right now, you might have to take Utah State. Keep that in mind. And then bad losses, they have none, so that's good for them. ACC, you got Duke, who's 5-4 and 3-2. They just lost last night. I forgot who they lost to, but it was a good enough team. So again, good wins, they have none. Bad losses, they have none. But right now you're only 5-4, 3-2. That's going to have to improve dramatically though if they want to get in. North Carolina 8-5, 3-3 conference play. So good wins. Stanford on neutral court in the Maui Invitational, so that's good for them. Stanford's a bubblish team. Bad losses at Georgia Tech. Now Georgia Tech's like 7-3, I think 3-3 in conference play. So you may say why it's a bad loss. That's because Georgia Tech lost their opener 2 games, and I think one was to Mercer and one was to some other bad small school. So that's why Georgia Tech's not even in the bubblish conversation. That's why I call that a bad loss. Now, obviously, that was at home against Georgia Tech. It'd be a lot worse, but still, because they're a bad loss. Then you got NC State 6-4, 2-3. It's very hard for, especially a Power 5 team. It's very hard for them to make the tournament if they don't have at least a 500 record within their own conference play. So that's going to have to improve for NC State to officially make it. But as far as good wins, they have North Carolina, which is important head-to-head if it comes down between those two schools, so they can win their next game against them and win both games, and that's going to be important there. And then bad losses at Miami. Pittsburgh 8-2, 4-1. You're like, ooh, that sounds pretty good. And the good wins, Duke is on the bubble. But then bad losses against St. Francis, Pennsylvania College. That's going to probably keep them out. That's a very bad loss there. Okay, Big 12, Oklahoma 8-4, 4-3. Their good win was against Texas Tech. Bad losses, none, so they're looking good. Big East. Big East usually has a lot of bubble teams. But it's kind of a down year for them, I would say. Kind of like the ACC has a down year when Duke and North Carolina are both bad. But and the Big East, the only bubble team I see as right now is Marquette, 8-6, 4-4. Good wins. They beat Wisconsin and they won at Creighton, so they definitely have some good wins. Then bad losses, none. So they're looking good. Big Ten, you got a couple. You got Purdue at 11-5, 6-3. They beat Ohio State twice, and they beat bubble-ish Michigan State, Indiana teams, which is good. Bad losses. They do have a bad loss to Miami. So that's not good for them. And then they lost at Rutgers, which again, it's not a terrible loss, but Rutgers might eventually find themselves on the bubble, but right now I don't think they are, so that's why I say bad loss. So again, good but not great. Indiana, good wins. Stanford, bubblish team. Maryland, bubblish team. But then bad losses at home versus Northwestern. Again, at Northwestern, maybe that's one thing, but you got to win at home against Northwestern. Michigan State 8-4, 2-4. So again, that conference record has to improve dramatically. Michigan State wants to get in. Good wins at Duke, bad losses at Northwestern. So again, not really nothing to set the bar there. Maryland 8-6, 2-5. So again, their conference record has to improve dramatically. But they have one at Wisconsin and at Illinois. So those are very good wins. And then their only bad loss was at home versus Rutgers. Mountain West, you got Utah State at 12-3, 9-0. They swept San Diego State twice. So those are the only good wins. And then their bad loss was versus South Dakota State, which again, it's a bad loss. Don't get me wrong. That was for second game of the season. So we'll kind of see if that loss potentially keeps them out or not. If Utah State, if they can beat Boise State at least once, and then maybe get to the Mountain West Conference Championship game when it's all said and done, I think that can be enough to offset that bad South Dakota State loss. San Diego State 9-4, 3-3. They have a good win against UCLA, and their only bad loss was against Colorado State at home. But then the problem is is that, again, Utah State's going to have the tiebreaker over San Diego State. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, unless, of course, San Diego State wins the conference tournament. And then the Pac-12, you got Stanford at 8-5 and 4-3. They have a good win against Alabama, it's a top 25 team, and their only bad loss was at Utah. So kind of they're doing okay. And then you got SEC, you got Florida 7-4, 4-3. They won at home against LSU. Then they just demolished Tennessee, top 10 team Tennessee by 26 points. And only bad loss was at home versus Kentucky. So right now, with that home win against Tennessee last night, Florida definitely helped themselves. And you got Arkansas, who's 10-4, 2-4 in league. So again, their contract has to improve. So they're kind of strange, especially for a Power 5 team, to have good wins, none, and bad losses, none. So they're going to have to get some if they want to be in the tournament. And then Mississippi State at 9-6, 4-3. They have a good win against Missouri and then a good win against Florida. But then they have losses to Liberty, Dayton, Kentucky, and then on the road to Ole Miss. So that's gonna. So they have to get at least 2 more good wins to kind of offset all that if they want to get in. And then the WCC, you got BYU at 11-3, 2-1. They have good wins at Utah State and at San Diego State, both published teams. So it's nice for them to have the tiebreaker over those 2 teams that comes down to it. And then bad losses, they have none. So now. Going over what I have here. So there, like I revealed earlier, I did have one 9 seed that's kind of published team, but I expect them to get in. Whoever this 9 seed is, I expect them to get in, and have them as Purdue for now. Because again, when you beat Ohio State twice, and when you have other good ones, because both teams like Indiana and Michigan State, and then of course they have bad losses as well, but they have 4 good wins to 2 bad losses, so it kind of offsets each other, so they can get one more win, they're definitely in for sure, but I kind of like their chances 11-5, 6-3 conference versus like a Michigan State or something where like they're not doing as well in conference right now. Then you got as a 10 seed. My first 10 seed is Marquette because I like those 2 good wins, and then they have no bad losses. Again, they could use another good win or 2 to kind of solidify themselves, but I like where they're at right now. Another 10 seed, you got Maryland. Now with 8-6 and 2-5 conference record, you may be wondering why that is. Well, it's because, again, they won against Wisconsin. Yeah, they won at Wisconsin, at Illinois. So it's not like both of those were on the road wins, so those are good wins. So that's why I like them. And then another 10 seed, you got Florida, because, again, that win against Tennessee, they jumped themselves up from being, like, on the bubble to now, okay, you're doing better. And then the last 10 seeds, Indiana, just because, again, I like their wins against Stanford or Maryland. And then 11 seed, you got Oklahoma. Again, I like that one against Texas Tech, and no bad losses. So we'll see how they continue to do in the Big 12, as they're the only bubble team there. Another 11 seed, I got BYU, because you got, again, a couple bubble wins, but no bad losses. So then for the Final Four, here's what I have. I have NC State, because, again, the tiebreaker over here in North Carolina. I have Stanford. I have North Carolina. North Carolina beat Stanford, so kind of like a bunch of tiebreakers there. So I have Stanford versus NC State, and then North Carolina versus Utah State. So Stanford, NC State, Utah State, North Carolina would be my last team in. So then for my first 4 out, I have Mississippi State, San Diego State, VCU, and Duke. And my next 4 out, I have Arkansas, Wichita State, Richmond, and Pittsburgh. So that's it for my podcast today. Please subscribe to my channel and tell everyone about me. Thank you very much, and you all have a wonderful day.